What's up, guys? Hey, let me get in here. Gotta love that graphic. Hold on, adjust my standing desk. How are you, people? Welcome to the number one podcast. I am your host, Coach Jake. Let me get my blue blockers on. What's up, people? Throw me out a number one in the chat. Hope you guys are doing well today. We are rocking and rolling. A lot of stuff to cover. It's been a crazy month. Had at the beginning of this month, but not calendar month, but like last 30 days, CatchCon was mind-blowing. We are in the process of putting everything together as we speak for the TV show. We got 25 matches. It's unbelievable. We've got incredible seminar footage with Frank Shamrock, Pat Miletich, Wade Schallis, Joe Malenko, Rick Brown. Dude, absolutely just mind-blowing stuff. Such a great event. Excited. I get to watch all the stuff get put together behind the scenes. We'll have that out soon. Aiming to get that up on Triller and a bunch of other broadcast platforms for you guys as soon as possible. And then I just got back from GrowthCon 2025 out in Vegas. So a lot of stuff for me in Vegas. CatchCon was in Vegas. GrowthCon was in Vegas. Got to get up on stage. It was crazy cool, man. Got on stage with, there was Ryan Reynolds, Robert Herjavec from the Shark Tank. Who else? Martha Stewart, dude. Jimmy John. That was a fascinating story. Who else? Eric Trump. Alina Habba, the president's attorney, dude. She's an animal. It was just unbelievable. I was really shocked how good it was. That all the speakers were amazing. Of course, Grant Cardone, Elena Cardone, Sabrina was absolutely amazing. Scarlett did a great job. So just a really great job put on by the Cardone family. 10X GrowthCon. It was the last one ever. And like I said, I was thrilled to get the award for the number one performance coach of the year award. Gave me that. Kind of cool, right? That's kind of cool. So, anyway, I hope you guys are rocking and rolling. You guys are doing good. Today, talking about why entrepreneurship is important for the economy. Why? Why is it important, right? And I want to talk to you about, I kind of teased it a little bit, like why do governments hate this one economic force, right? Because they want to take credit for everything that you do. By the way, guys, hit me up in the chat. Give me a number one. Give me a roll call. Tell me where you're coming from. I appreciate all you guys. Ask questions. Now is your chance. You got me until my next client. So if you have questions on entrepreneurship, you have questions on catch-can wrestling, grappling, shoot pro wrestling, scientific wrestling, mace work, how to help your small business grow, 10X business coaching. I am here. I am your guy. So again, throw all your comments out in the chat. I will get to you. I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Give me a number one in the chat. So, but again, why? The 70% of new jobs are created by entrepreneurs, right? So I want to talk to you a little bit about why it's so important. What is it? Why is entrepreneurship important to the economy? Curious, how many of you guys in the comments give me an idea of what your experience is with entrepreneurship? Have you ever tried to start your own business? If you go to the number1.com/blog, you could see I wrote an article on there. You just scroll down. The survival rate for entrepreneurs, it's easier to become a Navy SEAL than it is to become a successful entrepreneur after 10 years. The fail rate is just unreal. 2/3 fail in the first 5 years, 90% in the first 10 years. So why is entrepreneurship so important? Why is the American dream, right? So one of the things, the themes at GrowthCon that was huge was really this this Grant decided to book GrowthCon only with people that had rags to riches stories. Ivan Kaufman, Gary Cohn, these guys are billionaires. Jimmy John, Harold Hamm. These are names you need to look up. You may not know them, but these guys are all living the American dream. Robert Herjavec, you guys should recognize him from Shark Tank. Great, great dude. But it's the American dream. Remember, 70% of jobs are created by entrepreneurs, not the government. In fact, as you can see, people are losing jobs because Doge. And I'm curious, like, are any of you guys out there fans of Doge? Doge is doing absolutely amazing things. Absolutely amazing things. Because what you have to understand is we, as the taxpayer, are getting fleeced. I saw this thing where this guy was talking about how Joe Biden had spent something like $1 bajillion. I don't know the exact number. Talking to Jon Stewart from The Daily Show. Bajillions of dollars spent on getting people connected to high-speed internet. Not a single person was connected. Billions blown. This is theft. When they say taxation is theft, right? So that's what this is really about. Anyway, any of you guys ever do anything entrepreneurially? If you know me, you know that my wife and I acquired and run a software company. I started the very first reverse mortgage consultancy, still going to this day. I obviously scientific wrestling, invented the Mace Bell, #1 coaching now. So, I love entrepreneurship. I absolutely love it. I never, when I was a kid, thought it would be what I do, but I was very creative as a child. And I think that is what really made it something that I could be successful at. I was very creative as a kid, always drawing, always coming up with new ideas and designing things, coming up with new characters, writing stories, all kinds of stuff. It's so funny because I think as an adult, the closest thing that I can come to is entrepreneurship. But entrepreneurship is much bigger than just being a writer or a product designer, because you actually got to know a little bit of psychology, or how people operate, what's appealing to people, that kind of stuff. Just curious, throw it up in the chat. If have you ever started your own business? If so, when? If so, put the URL in the chat. Are you successful? What's your revenue, man? What are you making a year on it, right? So entrepreneurship is super crucial because, again, it is what is really that grows this amazing American economy. As hard as things have been in the last couple of years, or 2008 crisis, 2020, the American economy is the economy on which everybody else has modeled themselves on, right? It fuels growth in a country or in globally because it pushes innovation, creativity, creates jobs. Like I said, 70% of new jobs since 2019, small business. And it also creates competition, which does help people. It keeps people honest. It does all kinds of great things, right? So job creation, innovation, independence, right? New business, diversified markets, reducing reliance on monopolies because new entrepreneurs find efficiencies, better ways to do things, slightly different takes. Community development, right? Because it's the local entrepreneurs that open up shops, want to keep the parks clean, keep the streets clean, and push for all that kind of stuff. Is that fair? Plus, obviously, competitiveness is crucial to all of this stuff. So just some quick stats, right? U.S. entrepreneurship rates are up 18% for women and 20% in men. Now, that's a stat from 2022. If you guys have newer stats, throw them up in the chat. I'd love to hear them. Have you ever started your own business? Curious. Maybe even it was a paper route, or maybe you started like an Etsy shop or something. Have you ever created your own business? Just curious about the people out there. I love it. Entrepreneurship has been really, really good to me. Um, how many of you guys, if you didn't create your own business, how many of you guys work for an entrepreneur? Small businesses created 7.2 million jobs since 2003 in the United States, right? That's bigger than the EU and Japan combined. Entrepreneurs. I've always felt like, man, there should be a small business party instead of Democrats, Republicans. Small business party. It's the backbone of the American economy, right? Startups in emerging economies, like in these other ones, these smaller, they boost the income per capita by almost 10%, right? So it's super duper important, right? So I'm just curious, man, like if you're in the top 1% of achievers, and if you're paying attention to this podcast, you either are or you're aiming to be. I'd like to hear your perspective in the chat. Love to hear it. And like I said, I've got to drive my business, right? That is like my job as an entrepreneur. So let me give you some examples, right? So CatchCon. Why would I even bother? Why bother with CatchCon? Well, I know that it is so I started with a premise. My premise is that catch as catch can wrestling is the greatest, most impactful sport, and nobody knows about it. So I'm going to go and bring it to the world. I want the world to know about catch as catch can wrestling. So I created a company, Scientific Wrestling. I gathered all the greatest proponents of it, right? I was the guy, put them all together, did it first, and in many cases did it last, and for sure did it best. But what did I put together? I put together Carl Gotch. I asked Carl to help me put together a rule set. Now we got King of Catch. It's been going at the longest running catch wrestling competition ever, with rules co-developed by Carl Gotch and myself. That morphed into Shoot Pro Wrestling. So right now what we're doing is we're trying to make pro wrestling real. We do tag teams, triple threats, Ironman matches, singles matches under the rules of professional wrestling, i.e. catch wrestling. We've had, man, what is it, 4 shows? Just now at CatchCon, this is part of why I created CatchCon, was when you become an entrepreneur, you go and you experiment and you take risk. So I put together Carl Gotch, Billy Robinson, Frank Shamrock, Pat Miletich, Josh Barnett's been on board, Wade Schallis, Joe Malenko, Dick Cardinal, rest in peace, Gene LaBelle. Who are all the guys? Eric Paulson has contributed. Like, who are all the guys? I threw all these people together. Now, why would I do it that way? Why wouldn't I just go out and be like, oh, Jake is the greatest guru ever? Why wouldn't I try to position myself as some sort of Danaher type of character, some wizard? Because that's all he did. He aligned himself very closely with, like, say, BJJ Fanatics. They gathered all these people, and all he does is watch tapes and take other people's ideas and apply them to his athletes. And then pretends like he came up with it. Doesn't credit him. I busted him several times using Wade Schallis's material, like explicit, the wheel, the clock, that stuff, never gives him credit. Why wouldn't I position myself that way? Well, now in the case of BJJ Fanatics, they've done very good work. I love that company. I've done videos for them. They've been able to leverage and get known in a big way. This is what I did originally, right? So BJJ Fanatics originally started as a reseller of Scientific Wrestling DVDs, if you don't know, back in the day, amongst others. And Michael Zenga, great guy, good business guy. But he did the same thing that I did because he saw the model. It's what I call a lion's share model, where it's a licensing agreement. And we get all these guys, and they've all got good attention. Billy, Wade, all these guys, Carl Gotch, they got all this big attention. Well, we can put them all together and put that attention onto one vehicle, Scientific Wrestling. Now, what do? Okay, great. So my original idea is that catch as catch can is the biggest, most impactful sport that's ever lived. I can quantify that. I can back that claim easy, but nobody knows about it. That's a problem. What does Grant say? Grant Cardone, huge mentor of mine. I'm such a fan. I've dropped everything to sit at the feet of this guy and really figure out his systems. Well, Grant says, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. If that the best known beats the best every time. So I figured, well, we're the best already, but we are not the best known. Guys like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and 10th Planet, they are way better known. I think we're better. I truly think that's an easy case to make, but they're best known, right? Eddie Bravo, cool guy. I love all the things he puts out. I love his podcast. I love his appearances on Rogan, but he beat Royler Gracie. That's his big claim to fame. Okay, cool. Once. We got Carl Gotch, Wade Chalice, Billy Robinson, got like a whole panoply, Frank Shamrock, all the greatest guys. Bigger in terms of accomplishments, but they don't have Joe Rogan distribution as their best friend. That was the genius. So now there's 10th planets everywhere, right? So this is why I come out here trying to talk to you guys, try to get known, try to get on every podcast that I can, get known and blow this up. Now, my name's been mentioned on Rogan a couple times, thanks in large part to Josh Barnett, great friend, great guy, doing great things in his own right, friend of scientific wrestling. But it's not enough. He's Bravo has been able to leverage that brilliantly. Dana has been able to leverage the BJJ Fanatics list of 1 million people in the market brilliantly. Okay. So this is what I'm trying to do now. So we've got all this great stuff. Why CatchCon? Okay, so now I'm like, I've got to put together. I've been doing seminars for 20 years, traveling around by myself with these other guys, getting the awareness out, very grassroots. That's why we have such a strong brand, because I've done it the hard way, as I'm learning. Did it the hard way. Okay, but it was great for the brand. The scientific wrestling brand is strong. People know it's associated with the best. All these my competitors are not the other people who catch wrestling at all. But my competitors are Muay Thai. Scientific wrestling's competitors are BJJ. That's where we've got to vie for attention from those groups. Does that make sense? So CatchCon was just efficient for me. I was traveling all the time. Dude, I was doing a couple years ago, I was doing 25 to 30 round trip flights around the world, dude. It was like crazy. It was too much of my time. Wasn't efficient. So I said, I'm going to create this gigantic extravaganza, put 9 coaches, 2 certifications, whatever, 3 divisions with $1,000 prize to the winner. I'm going to create this big thing called CatchCon in Vegas, the fight capital of the world. And I'm going to put this on and get all the attention on it. Okay. Now, what have I been able to do as an entrepreneur? That event cost me at least $35,000. So all you guys out there, you have no idea. That's just the money. And then the amount of work that's gone into it is just unbelievable. So we're cutting together all this footage. We're going to make, we got 25 matches. We're going to make, and all this great seminar footage, we're cutting it together into our TV show. We're hoping to have the first episode out in the next week or two. I mean, we are busting ass, dude. So much work, so much effort, so much money. That's entrepreneurship. The risk, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee for me. But to me, it's a bigger risk to not take a risk. That's how I am. Now, I'm maybe the only person in my family like this. I'm a freak. I'm a fucking freak. I'm the first person in my family to move out of state. I moved to California when I was 21 without $1 in my pocket to go pursue knowledge of grappling. Was it a mistake? I mean, I don't know. Was it hard? It was hard as fuck, dude. I was so poor. I tell the story all the time, man. I was poor. I was working 4 minimum wage jobs because I'm in San Francisco, in the city, training at Carly Gracie's, who back then in the early 90s was over $200 a month. Dude, I did not have that kind of money. That was a lot of money back then, before all the Biden inflation and bullshit, right? Or just general inflation, because we also had the 2008 inflation. I'm back there in 1995 paying $200. Dude, you could do the calculation what $200 is worth in today's money. That's like $400 or $500. And I was working minimum wage. I was 21, like a dumbass out there. But I did it. I took the risk. I did the hard work. Sacrifice, dude. I got a carotid dissection. My shoulders are jacked from doing this like the Wild West way. But I was there. I made contacts. I got trained by Frank Shamrock, became his student. Got trained by Billy Robinson, 7 years, his apprentice, his right-hand man. Mentored by Carl Gotch for 4 years, unlike anybody else. You can go to carlgotch.com, listen to a handful of the recordings that I was able to get from my relationship with Carl. All of that. No guarantee, dude. No guarantee at all. So all you guys out there, this is the funny thing. Like, especially the haters, you know these haters. If you have an entrepreneur business or you're doing big things, you're going to get haters. I look at haters like a status symbol. And I laugh because I know these haters could not do any bit what I did. And I did it against the odds. Here I am, like a guy with a cancer survivor, thriver, with a carotid dissection, a skinny broken neck, do not look like a wrestler. And I did it despite all of that. I swam against the fucking stream and I won, and I keep winning. I'm betting on myself as an entrepreneur. Now, that's just scientific wrestling. I did that with the Mace. That blew up. I did that with the reverse mortgage consultancy. That blew up. I've done that with this software company venture with my wife. That blew up. I'm starting to figure shit out, but it is unbelievably hard. I've done that now as a 10X business coach for Grant Cardone, the number one. I mean, shit, it's my fucking brand. I better be number one. Anyway, entrepreneurship is the greatest thing, and it is the fucking hardest thing, besides maybe wrestling. This is why I talk about wrestling and entrepreneurship, why I wrote this book, Sportify. Sorry if that's backwards. Maybe I need to flip my shit, huh? Can I flip this camera? Will it fuck everything up? I don't know if this will fuck things up. Video, let's see if I can flip this. Mirror. Boom. Yeah, there we go. Did that do it? I think that did it. There we go. Okay, so like Sportify. Beyond business gamification, beyond business ethics, and the next one's going to be beyond business leadership. Because the parallels are almost identical. I told you can go to the blog, numberonecoaching.com/blog. I broke down the statistics for you. What else did I do that was fucking insanely hard? I got a master's degree in financial mathematics, financial engineering. Worked in investment banking, mortgage banking, as a quant in software. I was a hedge fund accounting software nerd. All that. So, listen, man, take all this stuff up. There we go. I might have to squint, though, because these glasses do help, man. I'm in front of a damn screen all day. Anyway, guys, you've got to do hard things, and that's what entrepreneurship is about. And that's why I do coaching, because I'm passionate about it. I'm fucking killer at it. Killer. I'm a killer, dude. Like, I crush it. I got on the last 10X GrowthCon. I got on stage as the number one guy. Number one. Let's see here. Anyway, guys, throw up your comments, man. I see all you guys in the thing, and you're quiet as hell. Am I that captivating? I am not that captive as shit. Dude, I tell you, my kids, my wife will tell you, man, they're always like talking back. Tell me I'm full of it. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm here to help you, but I'm a jet in a second. But I want you guys to understand, like, Why is I made the macro case for entrepreneurship, talking about 70% of jobs, all that shit that I already talked about. Entrepreneurship, though, is important fundamentally, okay? Obviously, in different contexts, to the economy, all that kind of stuff. It's important because it is fundamental to freedom. Okay? The American dream is entrepreneurship. Look at somebody, yeah, he's controversial. Elon Musk, dude, richest guy on the planet. Look at somebody like Donald Trump. Okay? Now, look at somebody like Jimmy John. Look at somebody like Grant Cardone. Those other guys had money to start with. Grant Cardone didn't. I didn't. Now I'm like a pimple on their ass. I'm just a nerd for entrepreneurship and doing hard things. How many of you guys, what's the hardest thing you've ever done over a long period of time? I will tell you, for me, the two hardest things that I've done are entrepreneurship and grappling. Unbelievably difficult. Get your fucking ass kicked constantly, dude. And there's no rest. I mean, I've wrestled so much, I got yanked out because of injuries. Like, I'm jacked, but I love it. I can't get rid of it. It's like the mafia, dude. Like, once you're in, you're never out because it's addicting, and you really begin to like it gets in your brain, and you want to win. What's the hardest thing you've ever done? What's the hardest thing you've ever done, man? Have you gotten a company up over $1 million in revenue? Have you ever done that? That's like definitely a 1%er thing. I think the statistics are unbelievable. So next time you're looking at a business person down your nose, especially all you left-wing wackos with your freaking pussy hats and purple hair, you need to, dude, I can tell, by the way, most of the time when I look at you, you're fat and out. You can't do this. You cannot do the hard things. And you know, the sad fact is this world is built by people who did really, really hard things and pushed really hard. And that's poor people, rich people, all kinds of people. It doesn't matter how wealthy you are. You have to not be lazy. You have to be super creative. Is that in you? Why don't you do this? Why don't you try? Why don't you try to do something epic? My mentor Grant says, when are you going to decide to be great? Dude, I've written probably 20 books. Have you written one? I've launched probably 5, 10 companies. Some of them failed, but I rattled the ones that were successful. I got 3 wonderfully smart, healthy kids. All of them got leads in musicals. My daughter just got back from traveling the Mediterranean coast. She went to the south of France, Spain, Italy, Lucerne, Switzerland by 18. Been married 20 years. That's hard, dude. You have to want to be married. There are times where it is very difficult for both parties, man. And when you want to be married and you don't want to be married and the other person wants to be married or the other person doesn't want to be married, you got to still make it work. And it's the same with business partnerships over a long period of time. It can be hard. And you get nowhere, no success, monetarily success. And you push and it's 10 years. And then you're an overnight sensation after 10, 15, 20 years. Are you willing to take that kind of risk? Are you willing for that delayed gratification? It's hard, dude. So, but what are you going to do? You know, everything that lives dies. You're going to die. I'm going to die. Your kids, your folks, your pets, your plants, mine, everybody. That's the deal. If you're alive, you die. So that means time is finite. Time is the ultimate scarce resource. That's the first trick to entrepreneurship, is figuring out time, your relationship to time, and not only your own time, but other people's time. Because this is not for everybody. I will tell you that it is not for everybody. 99% of you guys that I'm getting you fired up and having you think about it, a job is probably going to be better for you. That's just brutal reality. But if you think you have it in you, you got a great idea, you want to make an impact, you want to make a legacy, you want after you're dead to people still talk about you and use your name, I'll help you. I can help you with that. I've proven it over and over. I've proven it like a mother, you know what? So, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got to make a decision. You're just going to keep consuming content, or you're going to start producing content. I could be sitting here. You know what happened today? So I got back from GrowthCon. I've been slammed with clients. We got a bunch of new clients because of GrowthCon. I'm in the midst of producing this TV show, all the footage that we got from CatchCon. I had a free hour. I had to take my car in because I had to take it to the shop. It has a coolant leak. So I had a free hour. I could have scrolled X. I could have scrolled Instagram. I could have got on the phone and bullshitted with about nothing to some friends. But I got on here and created content. Guess what? Now my team's going to take this content, chop it up 20 different ways, and push it out to get more attention. Make sense? Dude, to be an entrepreneur, you've got to be a subject matter expert. You've got to be like an expert in human behavior in a very specific niche way. You got to know marketing. You got to know negotiation. You got to know how to put together a product. You need to know design. You need to know graphics. You need to know, accounting, taxes, sales. It's not for the faint of heart. It's hard. Okay. But I know you got this. If I can do it, I'm telling you, I have so many people, come up, because I ain't shy to tell people, if it's true, it ain't bragging. It's marketing. Oh, you're smart. Oh, you had that. Dude, I've had a recent shift in recent years. But dude, I'll tell you this, for most of my life, I felt nerfed by God. I felt nerfed by God. Like, why would you give me cancer and then put me into the wrestling business? Why would you give me a carotid dissection that led to atrophy in my neck? Why wouldn't you give me cauliflower ears for my years of wrestling and grappling and make me the face of this fucking thing? Nerfed, dude. Uphill. Why would you put me in a master's degree in financial mathematics when my undergraduate is English? And I'd never done business and never done math. Why would you put me in a 20-year marriage with 3 kids when my dad was married and divorced 4 times and my mom married and divorced twice? Had broken homes, abusive step-parent. Why would you put, I was nerfed, bro. Nerfed by God. And then I've had a recent revelation. As you grow, you get a little more mature and a little hindsight, and you understand things. Those hard things are what made me. Those difficult things made me. Do not shy away from them. Do not look like a victim to yourself or to other people. I am not a victim. I am fortunate those things happened to me. I am fortunate that those hard things happened, because that's what forged me. The fire made me harder. That's how you harden steel. You bang on it. You put it in fire until it's red hot, white hot. And you bang on it some more. Then you put it in some cold water, and then that's hardened steel. Hormesis, right? That's how muscles grow. You destroy them and they come back stronger. Nassim Taleb renamed it anti-fragile. I guess it's more marketable that way. So I'm not nerfed by God, man. He put me through that, and nobody else could do it, dude. Nobody else could do this. I did. What are the hard things in your life that you pushed through? You know, they found in the research that the people that have had the hardest time, it either makes them superhuman, one way or the other. Superhuman, superhero, or supervillain. But you have a choice. You have a choice. What you going to be, man? When are you going to decide to be great? Now, listen, I'm going to get out of here. This is it. You got questions, now's your time. Otherwise, I'm out of here. Appreciate the heck out of you guys. You can always hit me up. I'll talk to anybody for 15 minutes if I have the time. That's the hard part. You might be waiting a month or two before I can get with you. That's why I make this available right now. You got any questions, anything you want to know about? Otherwise, dude, go check out what I'm doing because I will help you. Number one, coaching. I will help you. I'm expensive, but dude, you got to stop thinking like slave. You got to start thinking like the master, right? Stop thinking in terms of price. Start thinking about return on investment. If I came to you and I said, hey, man, bring me 25 grand and I'll give you $1 million. You'd figure out how to get the 25 grand. Scientific Wrestling, go over there. Go affiliate, start your own club. I will help you. I'll show you how I did it. And I'll give you the benefit of my network, my 180,000 on Instagram. What do I got on Facebook? 70, 60, I don't know. 18,000 on YouTube, 6,000 on Twitter, whatever, dude. I'll help you out. I'll get you exposed because you're helping me and you're going to do something that's difficult, that's good for you. Scientific Wrestling. Or you're going to do entrepreneurship. You can do number one coaching with me. Anyway, appreciate the hell out of you guys. I'm going to jump. You guys are very quiet today. I appreciate everybody that tuned in. We had up like 10 or 12 different people jumping on. So I appreciate you guys. Anyway, you know where to find me. I'm going to try to make this more regular. If there's a specific time that's better for you to be live, I don't know if you want morning, afternoon, or night. I'm thinking probably early morning because that's the only time that I have time left to give you guys any kind of guidance because I'm booked during the day and then I do reserve my evenings for family stuff, Uber, being an Uber driver for my kids until they get their licenses. Anyway, appreciate the heck out of you guys. Have a wonderful